Hey folks, how are you doing today? We are going live right now to UofL, where Senator Mitch McConnell and his wife, Secretary Elaione Chao, they're going to be visiting the UofL Ekstrom Library. I hope I'm saying that right. Ekstrom Library, because they're celebrating the expansion of the McConnell Chao archives in the library there. So Senator Mitch McConnell and Elaione Chao, they're going to be talking today, and we are going to be streaming this press conference for you right now.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, if we could find a seat if you haven't yet. It's great to see such a great crowd out here this morning. Let me remind you now to silence your cell phones. I want to remind myself of that. My name is Gary Gregg, and it is my pleasure to serve as the director of the McConnell Center and the Mitch McConnell Chair in Leadership. I also sort of oversee the higher level leadership for this achievement that we are here to celebrate today. It's my distinct pleasure to welcome so many guests to the University of Louisville for this special celebration of the expansion, the completion of the expansion of the Senator Mitch McConnell and Secretary Elaione Chao archives. Established in 2009, these archives will serve not just as a record of two extraordinary lives of public service, but as a dynamic and living resource, I think, for students, scholars, and citizens who seek to learn more about American history and government and politics and the challenges of political leadership. Today we're proud to unveil the expansion of what you will see soon is a real state-of-the-art facility that significantly enhances the functionality and the accessibility of two very important collections. Although, I must say, particularly to the folks watching online now, we are not open for the public fully. it is going to be a pleasure to welcome you all that are here today for a special private behind-the-scenes tour of this new facility. We're very proud that this space resides here at the University of Louisville, Senator McConnell's alma mater. And it also serves as an important extension of the work of the McConnell Center, a mission that Senator McConnell established more than 30 years ago. And as you can see behind me right now, very soon it'll be 35 years ago in 2026. That mission to serve the young upcoming leaders of the Commonwealth and develop leaders, the next generation of leaders for America. It's my pleasure to first introduce, and an honor really, to introduce someone who has stepped up to provide leadership to this university just a few months ago and is already demonstrating that he's a leader of vision for the future of this university, but also has an appreciation for its past. It is my pleasure, ladies and gentlemen, to welcome to the podium our President of the University of Louisville, Jerry Bradley.
Thank you, Gary. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you for all being here today at the University of Louisville, as really we celebrate a meaningful milestone in the life of our campus and in the preservation of American political history. The McConnell-Chao Archives is one of UofL's most unique and significant repositories. It offers an invaluable source to scholars, students, historians, and the public. This space provides first-hand insight into the career and contributions of United States Senator Mitch McConnell and Secretary Elaine L. Chao. These archives not only serve as a historical record, but as an educational bridge connecting future leaders, past and present, in public life. Today, we're proud to recognize the expansion of this important facility, an effort that has significantly enhanced its capacity, its functionality, and reach. A newly constructed archive storage room was designed to meet the highest archival standards, equipped with high-density shelving to ensure the long-term preservation and accessibility of these nationally significant collections. The project also included a renovation and expansion of workspace areas, featuring a dedicated digital processing room, is a vital addition that supports the increasing volume and complexity in this modern age. Our research room not only includes an upgraded research corral and a thoughtfully designed exhibit center, our exhibit case, where visitors can select selected memorabilia from the Senator McConnell's career. This expansion would not have been possible without the generous support of many of the generous donors who believe in the power of historical preservation and scholarly access. We are profoundly grateful to those individuals and families, named and anonymous, who contributed to this really historic project. Your investment ensures that these archives continue to grow, educate, and inspire generations to come. Thank you for your vision and your commitment to UofL. This expansion strengthens UofL's role as a center for civic education and public service scholarship. It demonstrates what's possible when institutional vision aligns with community support and national legacy. It affirms our commitment to preserving history, not just for study, but for deeper understanding of the values, the challenges, and decisions that shape our world. As stated by Michael Tackett in his book, quote, The Price of Power, quote, by almost any measure, Senator McConnell is the most impactful leader since Lyndon Johnson. He has inarguably transformed American politics and American life and has achieved a place in history, end quote. On behalf of the University of Louisville, I want to personally thank the Senator for what he has done for this university. It all started in 1985, but over the years since, Senator McConnell has helped bring hundreds of millions of dollars in federal support to this university. Among the many highlights, the expansion of this main library, a biomedical research building, the Higher Education Relief Fund, the Cardiovascular Institute, and most recently supporting a request for the Center of Bioscience and for the Kentucky Center of Precision Medicine. I could go on, but thank you so much for all your work. Last but not least, a couple of weeks ago, we had students who were trapped without a visa, and it was a call to Senator McConnell's office made that go away. So again, thank you, Senator McConnell, for your advocacy. On behalf of the University of Louisville, I want to thank everyone in this room and outside who made this project a reality. Our library and archival staff, project partners, and our generous supporters. The McConnell Chao Archives is now better positioned than ever to serve its mission, and we are so honored to be its stewards. Thank you for joining us in this celebration.
Thank you, President Bradley, and thank you for your support of the McConnell Center and the McConnell Scholars. Few people would know, but within days of him becoming president of the University of Louisville, he met privately with McConnell Scholars. That was a fun time. We appreciate it. It's now my honor to introduce a distinguished Kentuckian and proud University of Louisville alumnus. He's someone whose contributions to our Commonwealth span decades of public service, and he's done so with principled leadership and with a transformative political vision. David Williams is a name that has long been synonymous with Kentucky politics, probably only second to Senator McConnell, who's here with us now. As Senate President, he played a pivotal role in shaping public policy and advancing meaningful legislation that continues to impact our Commonwealth down to the current hour. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please help join me in welcoming former Senate President and current Judge Dave Williams.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Senator and Secretary. It's a pleasure to be here, Mr. President, distinguished guests. My name is David, and I'm a recovering politician. You're supposed to say, hello, David. Okay. Politicians are often accused of having egos. Some people are accused of being narcissistic. I've been accused of both. I hope to follow the Senator in the middle there somewhere. And you might ask, what has David Williams been called to come back from Burkesville, Kentucky to say a few words? I came here today not just to miss a long docket, because I love Mitch McConnell and Secretary Chao. People don't express that very much. Men especially, Senator, have a hard time saying that sometimes. But they have been transformative figures, not only in their state, in my life personally. Now, I was in a position to, well, the first thing I want to say is, don't ever ask a politician to do a eulogy or introduction of someone, because they always make it about themselves. But in order for me to understand why I have some credibility on the issue of Senator Mitch McConnell, I have to, as Larry Forgue used to say, set a predicate about how long I've known Senator McConnell. I first knew Senator McConnell before he knew me in '71 when I graduated from high school, went to Frankfurt to work in the Louis B. Nunn administration and the Tom Emberton campaign. And Senator McConnell was already making a name for himself as a smart fellow, was associated with Marlowe Cook. That didn't work out so well at the time. And not because of me or not because of Senator McConnell, but I put out as many yard signs as I could. Then I came to the University of Louisville in 1975 to enter the law school, and after a year and a half, when it appeared that I had some opportunity to graduate, it wasn't a sure thing, John, for a few years, I was recruited to run the mayoral campaign at the same time Senator McConnell ran his first campaign for county judge executive. Nobody gave him very much a chance, but I saw a focused and disciplined person who had an acumen, a political acumen that I hadn't experienced before, that won that race. 4 years later, I was out at the All Wool in the Yard-Wide Democrat Club on Goss Avenue as a challenger for the re-election campaign, and it took off after that as far as his political campaign. Now, why am I in a unique situation to talk about Senator McConnell and about him being the longest serving member of his party to lead his party in the most important legislative body in the history of the world, the United States Senate? I'm there because I had a front row seat in most of the campaigns. And then in 2000, I became the first Republican to be Senate president and had a new appreciation for what it took to lead your party in a legislative organization. Shortly thereafter, I became chairman of the Southern Legislative Conference and knew all the speakers of the House, all the presidents of the Senate in the South. Then I did the same nationally as Council of State Governments, went all over the world and sat in the Japanese Diet, the House of Commons, saw that I was a student of legislative leadership. And I can say without fear of contradiction, Mr. President, Mitch McConnell is the most effective leader in a legislative body in the history of the modern world. And I don't say that. And what does it take to do that? Now, you're not always popular as a leader. I'm prime example of exhibit number one. But you have to have the political acumen. You have to have integrity. You have to be able to convince difficult people who think they ought to hold your seat that you should lead them. And then you have to be able to look over your shoulder every once in a while like the lead goat and see where the crowd's going so you can lead them there. Senator McConnell was like, can you imagine convincing a majority of the members of your party that you should lead them or you should be above them in any capacity in the United States Senate? Senator McConnell often said that members of the United States Senate were all president of the senior class and they all had sharp elbows. And so they're a hard group to organize, but he was able to put diverse groups of people together with never a large enough majority to depend upon being able to lose very many people. I had 20 people out of 38. I couldn't lose anybody. He usually had 51, 52, that sort of thing. And he had people from Alaska and New England and the South. But, you know, Senator McConnell was unique not only in his ability, but where he was from. It was important that he was from a border state, from Louisville, Kentucky, where he could appeal to Southerners and people who were in the North and Indiana, Ohio, and in the urban areas. He went to what was considered to us an urban university. He was a unique individual. They used to say, why did they ever select Harry Reid? I'm sorry I mentioned his name. Why did they ever pick Harry Reid to be the head of the Democrats? And the answer to that is because they believed what he said. He could raise the money, and he was willing to take the blame. The last part of it is a unique characteristic that Mitch McConnell has. He's been willing to take the blame. You can't have your way all the time. You have to govern. These people, these flash-in-the-pan people who come around and criticize this person for not being leftist enough or rightist enough, they've never had to govern. Mitch McConnell has had to govern. He had to put a coalition together to make things happen for the United States of America. And I hope that the coming generation and the present generation does not lose sight of the capacity to work across the aisle and work together to make things happen. That's the importance of this center here. That's the importance of these archives here, to allow people in the future to come and look at these things and look at an era where one man and was able to put together a coalition of people to govern. Now, was it easy all the time? No. Was it pretty all the time? No. But it was something that we should all be proud of and thankful for. Mitch McConnell gave Louisville and Kentucky a seat at the table for decades that a state our size would not normally have had it not been for his leadership. When the issues that mattered, transportation issues, bridge issues, tobacco issues, energy issues, all the issues, agricultural issues, all those issues gave Kentucky a seat at the table because of Mitch McConnell. Now, he's not going anywhere for a while. He's still got another year there, and I hope that he has an opportunity to speak a lot to the McConnell scholars and other folks, and to archivists and other folks who come here. And I'll make a suggestion to y'all. I think you ought to make sure you go out and do some oral histories with some of us that are still alive. You better hurry up with some of us, but they can remember what this man has meant to our state. And I would be remiss if I didn't talk just a second, I'll probably get the hook here, about Secretary Chao. You know, one of the most important things that Senator McConnell has done is to make Secretary Chao a Kentuckian. Yeah. And this library could be justified by Secretary Chao's career as a significant Republican member of the United. I don't know how many cabinet members we've ever had since the day when we were the Western frontier. Not many. But Secretary Chao, I appreciate what you've done for our state and what you've done for Senator McConnell. You would not believe the bus tours that we've taken together in campaigns. Sometimes it didn't look too great. But Secretary Chao never flinched. She stayed there and actually probably was a greater attraction at some of the stops than Senator McConnell at the time. So I want to thank you for the opportunity that I have to be here. It's great to be back on this university campus here. This university meant so much to me. And I will tell you, for the last 25 years, the President of the Senate has been a University of Louisville alumni, Senator Stivers and myself. And I was telling your president earlier today, don't forget, Mr. President, when you recruit people to go to your medical school, your dental school, your law school, that sometimes some of them make something out of themselves. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Judge Williams. What a great reminder of so many great lessons that we try to teach here at the McConnell Center and remember. So thank you for that, those remarks. Now it's my great privilege to welcome another truly trailblazing leader that has had a large impact not only on Kentucky, but on the nation and the world. Secretary Elaine L. Chao has dedicated her career to public service at the very highest levels. She made history as the first Asian American woman to serve in a presidential cabinet, and then she did it twice. She served as U.S. Secretary of Labor under President George W. Bush, and then as Secretary of Transportation. Her leadership has helped shape critical policies affecting America's workforce, infrastructure, and global competitiveness. Here in Kentucky, her partnership with the two men sitting beside her and others in Kentucky have had a significant impact on the Commonwealth, increasing investments and advancements in small communities and large across our state. From a more personal and local level, let me say thank you to Secretary Chao for being such a good friend of the McConnell Center and the McConnell Scholars over these years, and for entrusting us with your history and your legacy and to tell your story here at the University of Louisville, which I hope you consider to be your adopted alma mater. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Secretary Elaine Chao.
Don't get up. It's okay. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, President Bradley. Thank you, Judge. I remember you when you were a politician. And I have more words to say about my own husband, but thank you very much. I'm just thrilled to be here among so many friends to celebrate a shared effort that was years in the making. You know, when I came to America with my family so many years ago, I would have never been able to imagine where I am today. The initial years were filled with hardship, and we had such difficulties adapting to a new country, and also just trying to survive financially as well. It may seem strange now to say, I wondered for the longest time if I would ever find my place in America. Well, I did find my place in America, and it's home here in Kentucky. So I'm so grateful to all of those who have made this expansion possible, from the devoted staff of the archives and the McConnell Center itself, past and present, to the university leaders, President Bradley and others, who have committed again and again to deepening this legacy on campus. To the many friends who have made generous contributions, especially those who are present today, I want to thank you so much. Thank you all for making today possible. Most of all, I'm very grateful to my best friend and teammate, and also the man who is at the center of my life, the man who supported my career in public service, and whose own decades of service and his lifelong love for this university are the reasons that we're gathered here today. Now, Mitch doesn't really need much of an introduction, least of all here among so many proud Louisville Cardinals. The longest serving and the most prolific Senate party leader in American history is not a stranger in the Commonwealth that continues to reap the benefits of his strong leadership. Campaigning for me in every corner of Kentucky over the years to extend his leadership has been one of the greatest honors of my life. And I am so proud that with the expansion of this archive, his extraordinary accomplishments will continue to inform and inspire leaders for generations to come. So please join me in welcoming your senior senator, Senator Mitch McConnell.
Thank you, honey. It's great to see all of you this morning. Thank you so much for coming. I must say, spending life with Elaine has been a blessing. Sharing this archive is an honor. Any institution would want to host the archives of a three-time cabinet secretary, and I might just add the only cabinet secretary since World War II from this state. Plus, 12 years is also significant. Not many cabinet secretaries lasted that long. The fact that they're here at UofL, her records, speaks to the devotion of our shared home here in the Commonwealth. My work in the Senate's been a team affair. Elaine's been at my side, earning the trust of our fellow Kentuckians out here on the campaign trail. And nobody ever worked the U.S. Senate spouses like Elaine. Without her, I don't think I would have gotten elected leader in the first place, much less survive in a post like David described, longer than anybody else. Pretty tough game.
So she's been my most effective advocate every step of the way. And thank you again. And my friend David Williams, when he was a law student here, he was running a hopeless campaign for a very lousy Republican running for mayor, who I tried to ignore through the whole campaign because I was running for county judge. And I had a chance to observe that the campaign manager for mayor was a hell of a lot sharper than the candidate. And we have indeed kept up over the years, and it's been a great ride. It won't surprise you all to know, I hope, that I didn't get into this line of work to put my name on a building. We needed an archive largely because I never threw anything away. And this expansion illustrates that I haven't changed my ways. Seeing Debbie Skaggs back here, who I'll get to in a minute, told me, my dad gave me this watch for my 21st birthday. It was quite an innovation at that time. It was self-winding. All you had to do was just move. That back then was a real innovation. Debbie found the receipt that my dad got for buying all those years ago. Somebody had stuck it away. My baseball cards. My mother kept every one of them and actually kept them in a shoebox, which is the best way to keep them. And there were 2 Hank Aaron rookie cards. Talk about planning ahead. So I'm going to start with Nan Mosher. Nan joined me back in 1987. She's had a long game of her own and developed this archival skill, first in my office in Washington and now down here. We've had a great ride together. And also Debbie Ramsey, who's our curator, in other words, the boss. I alluded to Debbie Skaggs, who first held the curator position and was here back in 2009 when we opened. When I say opened, I mean opened the museum part. The archives is not open. It would shock you to know that my enemies have been deterred from seeing any of this. Debbie Skaggs was the first one who recognized that our collection was beginning to outgrow its home. She handled so much of the coordination around the university and shepherded the expansion from its earliest stages. I can't thank you enough. Speaking of the university, we've been so fortunate to have consistent interest and support from successive leaders. Dr. Bradley leads an extremely capable team, and I'm grateful to each of them for helping bring this expansion to life. Of course, none of this would have been possible without the generosity of so many of you, and I couldn't have hoped to lead the fundraising effort in any more capable hands than former Western Kentucky University President Gary Ransdell. Gary came out of retirement to gather the support needed for the expansion. And his commitment of time and talent encouraged so many others to make generous financial contributions. I'm grateful to each of the friends, local leaders, UofL alumni, and others who helped make this project possible. As you all know, from the beginning of the archives and the McConnell Center, the goal has been much more than to build a museum about ourselves. One of the greatest blessings of my career was starting out under the wing of my hero, Senator John Sherman Cooper. I was already interested in politics, but it would have been hard for anyone to walk away from a conversation with him and not believe that public service was a worthwhile calling. I think I shared this at the opening of the archives back in 2009. We call it archives, but really there are two things. The museum is really what is open to the public. That's what we opened in 2009. John McCain came. That's proof that we made up after 10 years of hating each other. And I mentioned then, back in 2009, one thing Senator Cooper had said that sort of stuck with me. He said, we would not be true Kentuckians if we did not believe that our state's history, traditions, and folklore made it a land set apart from others. Well, if we believe that, then our job is not only to preserve history like we do at the archives, but also to create opportunities for the Commonwealth's future leaders. That's what this was all about in the beginning. Not an archive, but a program. That might include its next senators. It also includes educators, job creators, and community leaders. Elaione and I have been so proud of how the McConnell Center, under the guidance of Dr. Gary Gregg, let me tell you how he ended up here. Hunter Bates was my chief of staff at the time. I said, Hunter, how in the world are we going to find anybody with some academic background who might like somebody like me? So, not easy. So we searched around. He found an organization, but it started by Buckley. By William F. Buckley, to sort of provide some support for academics who didn't go with the flow. The guy who answered the phone was Gary Gregg. And he listened to Hunter for a while and thought to himself, well, I may just apply for this myself. So he and his wife came down here. He figured he'd be here a year or two. He's been here 25 years and built this into an incredible operation. Gary, thank you so much. So that's 275 graduates, the first graduates in the class of 1996. The idea here was to try to provide an Ivy League type experience in a Kentucky place. The point being, so many of our sharpest kids go off to the east and never come back. Never come back. So I'm pleased to point out that 60% of our graduates are already back, and many of them are abroad, like in the Foreign Service. We have 2 at Harvard Law School now, and we hope they all come back. Most of them have already, And they're in a whole variety of different fields. I remember one time we had the drum major in the band. She was obviously a music major. And business people, doctors, dentists, lots of different professions, all with at least one thing in common. They had a high-quality education right here at this university. So I guess that would be a good place to wrap it up, because to sum it all up, a lot of members of the political world have buildings named after them, have programs, but we've found what we do here is actually quite unique. It's about the students. It's about trying to keep them in Kentucky, to encourage the best and the brightest to come here, even if they have an option to go somewhere else. And so for all of that, and for all of the help you've provided on this archive expansion, I thank you from the bottom of my heart. Oh, let's sit down.
If you want testimony to the impact that the McConnell Scholars Program is having, you know, here at the University of Louisville, there are 4 top student leadership positions that are elected by the 20-some thousand students. McConnell Center only has 40 at a time, but 3 out of the top 4 students, 2 of them sitting right here. Where's our president? Is she here? Oh, okay, so Macy couldn't make it. Former president right here in Allie Rose. It's really quite extraordinary leadership that's provided to this campus by these McConnell scholars.